Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. It's Friday, you know what that means. It's time for another Arduin review. This time is a little bit different than the usual book review, but I hope you guys will enjoy it. There's a lot of interesting stuff coming from Emperor's Choice and for all you Arduin fans out there. But I want to just touch on a couple of real quick things before you guys go out and have your burgers and, your favorite, weekend activities. Starting with the cards. And which cards? These cards. In this handy, incredible set of absolutely stunning artwork from way back in the day of Arduin is a set of, how many is it? 72, 76? 72 illustrated cards. There are the artifact cards. And I'll go over the backs in just a second. Oh, that one's in a weird spot. More artifact cards. More artifact cards. Some of my favorites on this particular page. Then a few more. Mostly weapons, I believe. Yeah, weapons. More weapons. And some more weapons. Really helpful because I noticed on this page there's the staff sling and a regular sling in case you guys don't know exactly what those are for you newbies out there. Now, each one of these cards is designed to be cut from the sheet to make individual cards where there's room to describe and list all the magical powers if they in fact have magical powers. That's up to you as the dungeon master to fill these out as you see fit. Putting in the damage, the range, all those, bits of information. And then you can hand them out to your players so that they can, put them in their character, file, what have you. And, whenever they want to use this weapon or this item or what have you, they've got it right there ready to go with all of, the relevant information. These are really cool. Unfortunately, I'm loath to cut them apart. I'll probably have to photocopy them and, make copies of them and hand out the copies just because, these are, for me, they bring back a lot of good memories seeing them all together like this. But, for those of you who don't mind cutting them apart, handing them out to your buds at the table, letting them, take something home with them at the end of the night, and they can, oogle their new crossbow or their katana or what have you. Then the monster cards, these are just incredible monsters that you've probably, except for you hardcore Arduin fans, have never seen before. I was telling Biggest Geekus last night about the air shark, and I could literally see their jaws drop when they thought of the potential of the party going down a hallway and dun-dun-dun-dun. You hear that music? I would even love to have that just queued up just below the table so that they're just like, what the hell? But also, all of the stats for the monsters as per the old Arduin rules. And here's another chunk of monsters. These you can also cut apart, make a little deck of monsters, and, I suppose randomly draw out monsters. Okay, you run into this until you run into all of the nasties that Arduin has to offer. And there's another page, of course, with the world-famous Fraint, one of the coolest character professions, or races, I should say, that you could ever imagine running. They're just... Other than the Deodents, which are my personal favorite, crazy character race. Now, these aren't the only ones out there. They are right now the only ones out there, but Dave and George are working on even more cards for the Arduin game. Apparently, there are hundreds to thousands of pieces of original art from David A. Hargrave's career that are getting ready to be put onto cards, as well as the cards from the original dungeons, especially for those players like myself who colored their cards and regret every second of it, or who've lost the cards, or who just want extras so that they can cut them apart and make a bigger monster deck. But there is a ton of new stuff just waiting in the wings over at Emperor's Choice. If you haven't already, please go check out Emperor's Choice. They are one of the coolest things that ever happened to Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games in general, from all the way back into the early mid 70s, I want to say. And they are working their fingers to the bone, getting ready for a whole bunch of new stuff to come out in the next year or so, and I'll keep you guys apprised to that. Now, Emperor's Choice George over there also sent me these handy, crazy, little fuzz there, cards called Swords and Dragons. Now, not only is it a poker style game with a bunch of different suits of cards like swords, and I forget what these are called. I'll look them up in a second. But there's eagles, skulls, scepters, cups, and 2 dragons that kind of act like jokers. But in Volume 9 of the Trilogy of Trilogies, there is a little chunk in here about basically a fortune-telling system. And I'm going to real quickly shuffle these again, although I shuffled them before, and just show you how that runs through. It's a real simple way to, I believe, give your characters more or less a little starting bonus to their character sheet, as well as, to set the tone for the game in the future. Give the Dungeon Master a little bit of, spice to throw at the players. Now, make 3 more or less even stacks of cards. And now inside this book has the definition, if you guys are at all familiar with like tarot card reading and things like that, which I'm guessing most of you Dungeon Masters have at least a passing understanding of. You're allowed to draw up to 3 cards for your future of your character. So I'm going to draw the first one from the left. Ooh, King of Keys, I believe that is. Oh, no, wait. Coin, talisman, chalice, skull, sword, scepter, eagles. I'm not really sure what that is. Oh, that's shield. Sorry, guys. I'm looking right at it. It's like, I don't see any keys. Oh, but there's a shield. So, King of Keys. I'll look that up real quick. Shields. Sorry, guys. I did that twice. Eagles, scepters, skulls, chalice, talisman, shields, king. You have the mark of the hero. Once per game session, you may declare a failed dice roll to be a success instead. This must be a dice roll at which you could have succeeded normally. Okay? So that means me, as the player character, once per game, I get to more or less succeed where I would have otherwise failed. That's kind of cool. Like it. Now, since I am a bit of a gambling man, I'm going to draw the next one. Now, certain things can override others. Hey, guess what, though? I got another shield. That means more or less they stack. 10 of shields. Natural mechanic, +4 to mechanics. That does not fit. But I'm not the most mechanically inclined gentleman out there, nor am I usually a gentleman. But anyways, I am, as I said before, going to just keep on going. 5 of swords. Me likes swords. I'm a big sword fan. As you guys could probably tell from the book choices that I picked so far in my book reviews, which next month is going to be an absolute joy because I get to review some of my all-time favorite books from one of my all-time favorite authors. 5 of Swords. Coward, -4 to all saves versus fear. Well, let's see. Does doesn't look like I get to override that one with my my shields there, but basically there you have it. Apparently I'm a big chicken, and yeah, I'm not going with that one. But you can use these as you know, the cards dictate, and try to spice up your characters and gaming, adventuring activities, especially during that session zero. If you guys do that, not everybody does that. I really like session zeros. I think they're a great way to get the ball rolling. I'm also going to look at coming up with a improved deck of many things using these cards, or maybe just use them as a deck of many things and take out a whole bunch of cards. But since there are so many cards, I think this is more than 60 cards. I want to go this is close to, let's see real quick, 2, 4, 6. I think it's more like 80 cards. So it comes in 2 decks because it's so big that it was easier to wrap them in stacks of 40, I guess. Maybe 42 because of the dragons. No, it was even more than that because of the others, the ace, king, queen, and jack. So we're looking at close to 100 cards here, I'm guessing. But Swords and Dragons, the card game that's very much like poker, is also, the rules of it are also available on the Emperor's Choice website. So make sure you check those out, especially if you guys are interested in getting any of the new books or the old books. I recommend you put that, bookmark that site, because I absolutely love going there, looking at the miniatures, and it's Emperor's Choice, one of the best game companies out there. I absolutely cannot wait to see what they have in store for us in the future. I'm getting a secret message. Just toss that to me so I can read. Okay, but absolutely make sure you check out Emperor's Choice. Make sure you get the books that you don't already have, or get the books that you think you're going to use the most. I would recommend starting with the trilogy in its hardback form as opposed to the 3 individual ones. The hardback version has a whole lot of extra stuff, including I think the Arduin Adventure game, which is a little, not a solo game, but a little sort of a one-shot, simplified version of Arduin that also has some really good information, and also there's some info on, I think, Doom Guards and the world famous module Caliban, which is to this day possibly my favorite pre-made dungeon adventure module ever made by anybody. The only thing that ever came close for me was, of course, White Plume Mountain. And hopefully you guys will learn to love Arduin as much as I have. And until next time, folks, it is Friday night. Make sure you check out all the wonderful live streams that are going on starting tonight all the way through Saturday. And, of course, subscribe to all those guys that I mentioned in the previous video. Thanks again to Biggest Geekus, George, Dave over at Emperor's Choice. Everybody else out there, have a great weekend. We love you guys. We'll see you real soon.